This is Kent Blaylock with Kent's Classic Sports Replays. I think I'm going to shorten that to Kent's Sports Replays because that's as far as the name will give me on this streaming software. So it's going to be Kent's Sports Replays now. I am excited to be playing Payoff Pitch using Game Pulse. It seems to be the new gaming system for me, and I'm quite enjoying it. So we're going to be continuing in the 1972 season. I am trying out a new webcam. My other one died on me. I'd been using it regularly for about 4 or 5 years, and it finally just gave up on me. So we have a new one and hoping it will do well. But what I am doing is I am playing the 1972 season featuring the Pittsburgh Pirates. I'm taking a close look at Roberto Clemente's last season, his 3,000 hit season, and his last season before he died tragically in a plane crash. And we're getting into the season. I've played a couple games offline. Let me go ahead and pull up the season standings so far. Haven't played too many games. As you can see here, I am 6 games in with it's 8 games that the Pirates have played. They're currently 5-3, only a half game back with Montreal. You can see that Houston in the West is at 9-1, playing very well. And then they're about on the tops of the major leagues, as the others are pretty close to where Pittsburgh is at. My featured player, however, as I'll scroll down here, if you look to the right, batting average leader sitting right in the top there, Roberto Clemente at 533 batting average. So he's hitting well. He's swinging the bat well. That is fortunate. Also, Willie Stargell, if you can see in the slugging percentages, he's third with a 781. And if we'll scroll up, on base percentage, Roberto Clemente's in the second spot at 548. But then with home runs, you can see Willie is just behind Lee May with 4 dingers of his own. So he's been hitting well. We're early in the season. The Pirates are playing fairly. They had a tough time with Chicago as they dropped 2 in Chicago. But let's get into today's game. As I'll scroll down, you'll see here today's game, the Pirates, it's going to be the Pirates in Cincinnati. And for some reason, I thought it was against the Phillies. I'll have to change that in the description. But they're playing against Cincinnati. Cincinnati is coming to Pittsburgh at 4-4, and the Pirates at 5-3. And so we'll get into this game. In the first inning, on the mound for the Pittsburgh Pirates is Steve Blass. And the replay is pitched fairly well with a 2.40 ERA with 15 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, and 3 walks with a 1.07 whip. Faring well as Pete Rose steps to the plate for the Cincinnati Reds. Go ahead and do something here. Change this view a little bit. I don't know. I might prefer the better. This is me slightly over here. Which do you prefer, I wonder? Just let me be tiny over here. I'm trying to figure out what I want my streams to look like. So here we go. Pete Rose stepping to the plate. Pete Rose, so far on the season, batting .314. 2 RBIs and 7 runs. Batted .307 in the real season, so he's a little bit ahead of schedule. But Pete steps to the plate as Blass gets the signal from Manny Sanguin, and here we go. Here's the offering. It's an in-play roll. An in-play roll of 87 is a ground ball to second. Ready to stand it up with it over to first as Bob Robertson squeezes it for out number 1. That'll bring Joe Morgan to the plate with 1 down. Steve Blass looking at Morgan as Joe Morgan struggling early in the season. He's only at a 194 average, but again, it's very early in the season. There's a lot of season left to go. So he's well below his 292 average for the real season. Here comes the pitch from Blas. He's getting a ballpark roll. That left-handed batter has got a 1-56 chance for a wheelhouse, and he does not. He just gets that in-play roll with that roll of 68, and he hits a triple as he rips one down the right field line past Bob Robertson into the corner, and Joe Morgan with a one-out triple as he slides in under the tag by Richie Hebner. And the Reds are in business here early in inning number 1 as Bobby Tolan comes to the plate, blasts into his windup and the pitch. It's an in-play 42, and it's a pop-up to the catcher, Sanguin, and that's just what Blas ordered as Manny Sanguin settles underneath it for out number 2. And that'll bring up Johnny Bench. Johnny Bench on this early season batting .231. Here's the pitch to Bench. It's going to be a tough 0-1, and you know that tough 0-1. If you got a roll of 1 on tough, it's got to be a strikeout. 1-41 would have been a strikeout. So he strikes him out, pitches himself out of that bit of trouble. We go to the bottom of the first here in Pittsburgh. Coming to the plate for the Pittsburgh Pirates is Rennie Stennett leading off, having a hot bat early season, batting .357 with 3 RBIs, well ahead of his .286 average. You have to excuse me, that's small print for these old eyes. As Gary Nolan on the mound for the Cincinnati Reds. Nolan with a 1.80 ERA in 15 innings pitched so far in this early season. Had a 1.99 in the regular season, so he's a deadly pitcher with that 15-5 record. So Nolan into his windup and the pitch. It's going to be an in-play 0-4, and Rennie Stennett leads off with a double as he rips one into the gap and is standing on second base. And Al Oliver coming to the plate. Al Oliver going to lay down a bunt with a man on second and no outs. So this will be a fact roll return. And as you can see, he is a B bunt rating. And here on the card, a B bunt rating is an SH, which means it's a sacrifice hit. So it's a good sacrifice bunt that moves Stennett over to third. And with one out, we got Rennie Stennett 90 feet from the paid station as Roberto Clemente, our feature hitter, comes to the plate. Again, Clemente hitting at .533 early in this season, batted .312 in the 72 season. Here's the pitch to Clemente. It's going to be an in-play 0-8, and these low rolls are doing Nolan in early in this game, as that's a single slapped into right field, and that will score Stennett as Clemente is safely on at first. And we have a 1-0 ball game here with one out, and Willie Stargell coming to the plate. Pop Stargell batting .344 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs early in this season. I don't think in 72 they were calling him Pops yet, but I know by 79 that was his name. Here's the pitch to Stargell. It's going to be another in-play roll, and that in-play roll of 71 will be just a fly ball lifted into left field as Pete Rose settles underneath it for out number 2, and Roberto Clemente will be running on contact as Richie Hebner comes to the plate. Hebner batting .217 with 2 RBIs, well below his .300 average in 72. And Hebner, delivery from Nolan. It's another in-play roll, and that in-play roll of 11 will be another single, and that'll move Clemente all the way to third with 2 outs. his run rating was dropped that allowed him to get to third. So runners on the corner with Manny Sanguillen, batting 290 in this early season, just slightly below his 298 average in 72. Nolan looking to pitch himself out of this tight spot with 2 outs, runners on the corner. It's another in-play roll, but that high roll of 96 will just be a deep fly ball into left field. Rose settles underneath it for out number 3, and we go to the second with the Pirates up 1-0 here in Three Rivers Stadium. Blast looking at Perez, Tony Perez, batting below the Mendoza line at 190, well below his 283 average in 72. Here's the pitch from Blast. It's going to be a patient 0-1, and he walks him, so Perez gets a free pass. And that C rating, we won't still have a house rule. You got to have an A or a B rating before I'll send you. I am actually playing both teams. I just feel more comfortable with that. I'm not too keen on the AI playing. That's just me. I like to have control of the whole game. So that brings up Dennis Menke. Menke on the season, 259, slightly above his average in 72 as Steve Blass eyes Perez at first, goes into his windup, and the pitch. It's going to be a tough. He struck him out, that roll of 12. He was a 1-48 strikeout, and he got him with the high heat. And he goes down swinging as Menke goes back to the dugout. That brings up Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo struggling in this early season, batting 125 with a run, but no RBIs. As Geronimo steps in, Perez takes a slight lead. Here's the pitch from Blass. It's an in play, 21, and it is a hit. It's a single, 2 bases. So Tony Perez got a good break on the ball as it come off the bat and made his way to third. And we have runners on the corner with only 1 out and open to turn 2. They're going to stay back. Let's bring the corners in. No, we won't. We're just going to stay back. Normal defense. Steve Blass with the pitch. It's in play, 74. Fly out to center field. Tony Perez on third. He runs at a 6 versus an 8 arm. That's a pretty good arm. And here's the roll. Trailing runners hold. So Perez will score as he tags up, and he does beat the throw, but they decided just to hold Geronimo at first. So they fired it in to second base, allowing the run, but keeping Geronimo on first, excuse me. Gary Nolan coming to the plate. Here's the pitch from Blass. In play, 14, and Nolan singles. The pitcher comes in and singles, and Geronimo makes it all the way to third, and Pete Rose back to the plate. Blass looking to close this out, and he does as he pops it up to short, but not after the run comes across, and we're knotted up here as we go to the bottom of the second, tied 1-1. Gary Nolan still on the mound as Bob Robertson comes to the plate. Robertson batting almost 300, 296, above his 193 average in the regular season. Here's the pitch from Nolan. It's a patient 96. It's just a fly ball lifted to Rose in left field, who's been getting a lot of action early in this game, as that's his third putout. That's going to bring up Gene Alley, shortstop, batting 375 early in the season, well above his 248 average. 347 plate appearances and 3 home runs. Here's the pitch to Alley. It's going to be in play, 0-7, and that will be a single on Alley's card against right-handed pitching. 6-34 is a single, so he singles, and he's on the base path with one out, and Steve Blass coming to the plate. And he's going to lay down a bunt. I don't think he'll be swinging away. A bunt rating of C. So it's a pretty good chance he'll get that right. Oh, he missed. Look at all those misses on the sacrifice bunt. Strike one. He just missed the ball entirely. He's going to try it again. Oh, this time he gets the bunt laid down as he lays it down to Tony Perez. And Perez does the only thing he can and makes the play at first. And that puts Gene Alley in scoring position with Rennie Stennett coming to the plate, who doubled his first time up. Stennett looking to continue the hot hitting as he gets a tough roll. And that tough 97 is just a fly ball again to Rose in left field. A lot of pull hitting going on as Nolan throwing some off-speed stuff and lifting fly balls in the left field. Steve Blass eyeing Joe Morgan, who hit a triple his first time up. Morgan looking to it's another in-play roll. Fly ball, lazy fly ball into center field. Oliver settles underneath it nicely for out number one. That brings back Bobby Tolan to the plate. Here's the pitch. It's an in-play, 67, and that's another fly ball. This time in the left field as Willie Stargell makes the easy can of corn play, and Johnny Bench back to the plate, and he struck out his first time up. So Blass looks to repeat that as the pitch comes. It's an in-play 93. And that's another fly ball in the left field. The left fielder is getting a lot of action in this game. Stargell puts it out for out number 3 on the F7 put out. We go to the middle of the third or the bottom of the third. I've always heard it called the bottom of the third, not the middle. But Al Oliver is stepping to the plate. Here's the pitch to Oliver. It's an in-play, 81, and that's a fly ball into center field, Tolan underneath it for out number 1 on the F8 putout. That brings Roberto Clemente to the plate. Roberto on his first time up got an in-play roll of 8, and he's hit a single and drove in a run. Nolan into his windup. The pitch is another in-play roll. Got him again on a low roll. And that 6-37 is another single by Clemente, who just has that hot bat going. His average is up now to 563. That'll bring Willie Stargell back to the plate. Stargell, his first time up, hit a fly ball into left field. Willie to the plate. It's going to be a tough out. So it wouldn't matter what that roll was. It's going to be an out, and he hits a ground ball to short. Possible double play action going on. We see here the double play rating of the pitcher and the batter is both 6. So anything lower than 6 will be a double play. And that roll of 8, it will not be. It'll just be a fielder's choice as Clemente is forced out at second on that fielder's choice 6-4 put out. That's going to bring up Richie Hebner, who's 1 for 1 on the day. His last time up, an in-play roll of 11 was a single for him. Hebner with the roll. It's another in-play roll, and that in-play roll of 20. See for Hebner again, a in-play roll of 10-33 is a single, so he will single again on an in-play roll. We're getting favorable low rolls, and because it's 2 outs, Stargell was able to make it all the way to third. So runners on the corners as Manny Sanguillen comes to the plate. Sanguillen, his first time up, got an in-play roll of 96 for an F7 put out. Here's the pitch, and that in-play roll 20 is another single. Boy, these low rolls on in play are doing for Gary Nolan in. And that'll move Hebner over as Stargell scores from third. It's a 2-1 game now with runners still on the corner with 2 outs. And Bob Robertson coming to the plate. This is going to be an out. It's a tough out. It's a deep fly into center field, but Tolan makes an easy play on it for out number 3, but not after another run comes across, and it's 2-1 Pittsburgh. Blas eyeing Tony Perez, who walked his first time up. Be a patient 85. It's just a ground ball too short. Gene Alley up with it over to first for the 6-3 put out. And out number 1. It's going to bring up Dennis Menke 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Here's the pitch. It's going to be another tough 22, and he struck him out again. He's swinging at the breaking balls and swinging and fanning as he goes back to the dugout. And that brings up Cesar Geronimo. Geronimo, his first time up, got an in-play roll of 21 for a single. We're seeing a lot of in-play rolls getting low rolls. Another tough roll, though, this time. That tough 73 is just a ground ball too short. Alley up with it again. 6-3 put out for out number 3. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Pittsburgh 2 and Cincinnati 1. Gene Alley coming to the plate. Alley, his first time up, singled on an in-play roll. A lot of in-play rolls getting some action. This time it's going to be a tough out. That tough out roll is a strikeout as he struck him out as Gene Alley went down swinging, just a swinging. That brings up the pitcher Blas. He'll swing away on a tough out. It's going to be a strikeout. He struck him out. That's 2 back-to-back strikeouts for Gary Nolan. That brings up Randy Stennett, 1 for 2 on the day with a double. Here's the pitch to Stennett, and this is going to be a ballpark roll. Ballpark, right-handed batter, 1-23 is Wheelhouse. That roll of 40 will be in play. Stennett's in play roll against a right-handed pitcher, 1-37, and it's going to be a hit. That roll of 89 is just simply a ground ball, too short. Concepcion up with it. 6-3 put out. That brings us to the 5th inning. 2-1 Pittsburgh. Dave Concepcion on the plate. Here's the pitch. It's a patient 19, and he walked him. He got a free pass as he strolls down to first base. That'll bring up the pitcher, Gary Nolan, who will lay down a bunt. Pretty good chance. And they got the lead runner. He did not lay down a good bunt. He's safe at first, but he did not move the runner along. He didn't accomplish what he wanted to do, but we still have a runner on. As Pete Rose, who's over 2 on the day, comes to the plate with Nolan on first. It's an in-play 0-8, and it's a triple by Rose, and Nolan legs it out and is safely home. And Pete Rose hits an RBI 3-bagger for a 2-2 ball game. And now Morgan coming to the plate. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a bug, but I can't play the infield in. Oh, there it is. I'm going to bring the infield in to try to prevent the run. And this is going to be a ballpark roll. Left-handed batter, 1-56 is his wheelhouse, and it will be his wheelhouse against a right-handed pitcher, Joe Morgan, 1-42, and this is a home run. It is not. It's a 63, but it is a single, as he's got a 1-64 chance for a hit. So he just barely got that one in, but that'll score Rose. And we got a 3-2 ball game now as Cincinnati takes the lead. And Joe Morgan on first with that B rating, so we're going to steal because Sanguin's he just has an average arm, so we're going to send Morgan. Let's see if he can make it. Yeah, he's safe. He slides safely in as he beats the throw by Sanguin, and now we got a runner in scoring position on second as Bobby Tolan comes to the plate. Here's the pitch to Tolan. It's an in play, 15, and it's another single. Boy, the low rolls on in plays are getting it done as Morgan scores all the way from second. It's a 4-2 game now with Tolan on first, one out, and Johnny Bench coming to the plate. Bench gets a patient roll. That patient 55, though, is just a ground ball to third. We'll see if we get a double play roll. And that lowest rating of 7, anything lower than a 7, it'll be a double play. And it will be that roll of 6. They do it around the corner, all around the diamond on the 5-4-3 put out. And that'll end the inning, but not before 2 runs come across as the Reds take a 4-2 lead here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Now Oliver coming to the plate. Oliver 0 for 1 on the day. Here's the pitch to Oliver. The patient roll, that patient 70 is just a ground ball to Concepcion at short. 6-3 put out for out number 1. That brings Roberto Clemente up, who's 2 for 2 on the day, to see if he can keep it up as he gets another in-play roll, but not this time as he just flies into center field for out number 2. That brings up Popcho. Stargell steps in with an in-play roll of 98. That's just going to be another fly ball. This time he pulls it into right field, and Geronimo settles underneath it for the F9 put out, and out number 3. 3 up and 3 down as we go to the 6th with Steve Blass still on the mound. Tony Perez to the plate. 0 for 1 on the day. He was walked. So Blass eyes Perez. Here goes the pitch. It's a tough 49. He struck him out. He's a 1-66 on strikeouts against right-handed pitching. So Perez goes down swinging. That's going to be the 4th strikeout thrown by Blass as Dennis Menke comes to the plate. Here is the pitch. It's going to be an in-play, 56. It's a ground ball to third. Richie Hebner up with it over to first as Bob Robertson stretches to get the throw, and out number 2. And then that'll bring Cesar Geronimo back to the plate. 1 for 2 on the day. Blass into his windup and the pitch. It's an in-play roll of 16. You can see on Geronimo's card. There, the Geronimo's card, 10-41, and it is a single. Lot of in-play hits in this game. Dave Concepcion on the plate with a runner on first. Concepcion gets a tough roll. That tough 75 will just be a fly ball into center field for out number 3 as Hal Oliver settles underneath it for out number 3. We go to the bottom of the 6th, 4-2 Cincinnati. Gary Nolan pitching a pretty steady game here. He's only allowed 2 runs on 7 hits. He struck out 2, but has walked none as Richie Hebner comes to the plate, 2 for 2 on the day. Hebner gets a ballpark roll. Again, left-handed batter, 1-56 chance. And he does get his wheelhouse roll against right-handed pitching. It's a 1-46 chance. Interesting enough, Hebner's better against left-handed pitching, the left-hander. So 1-46, and it's a home run. And that 0-3, he would have got him anyhow. And that's going to be a home run as Richie Hebner strokes one into the right center field seats, and he crushes a deep one. Home run. Now it's a 4-3 ball game as Richie Hebner goes yard. And Manny Sanguin coming to the plate. Again, 1 for 2 on the day with an RBI. Here's the pitch. It'll be a tough out. Don't matter the roll. It's a pop out to first. Tony Perez gets the easy pop out for out number 1. That's going to bring up Bob Robertson. Robertson steps in. Nolan into his windup and pitch. It's going to be an in play, 54, and it's ground ball to third. Benke up with it over to first for the 5-3 put out, and out number 2. That'll bring up Gene Alley, who's 1 for 2 on the day. Nolan into his windup. It's an in play roll of 45, and that's a ground ball back to the pitcher. It's a comebacker as Nolan fields it over to first for the 1-3 put out, and out number 3. And we go to the 7th, a 3-2 tight ball game here in Pittsburgh. Steve Blass still on the mound. Here's a pitch from Blass to his counterpart. It's a patient roll, but it's a 95. That's just a shallow fly ball into left field as Willie Stargell settles underneath it for out number 1. And that's going to bring up Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle. Here's the pitch to Rose. It's going to be a tough 30, and Rose with a narrow chance for that single, though, 22-34. Anything else under 32 would have been more bases. 18-21 doubles or triples, but he hit that 30. So he singles. And because he runs in a B, we're going to attempt to steal the base, try to get something going. And there's a possible error on this throw. And he is safe. The throw was on target, but late. As Rose is safe on second. That brings up Joe Morgan, 2 for 3 on the day with an RBI and a triple. Here is the roll. It's a tough 23, and that is a single for Joe Morgan. And I'm sure Rose will score from second. No, they hold him up as he does not make it. And they're going to stay at double play depth. Just hoping to turn 2. We've got runners on the corners, and Bobby Tolan to the plate. Tolan gets the pitch. It's a patient 54. It's a line out, 2 short, hit sharply at Alley, but he makes the play, cannot advance runners, and now it's 2 outs. And Johnny Bench coming to the plate, who's 0 for 3 on the day, so you would think Bench is due to do something. It's going to be a tough 56, and he will not. He just grounds it sharply to Richie Hebner at third, but Hebner makes the play over to first, and Blass pitches himself out of a tight spot for the 5-3 put out. And we go to the bottom of the 7th as Take Me Out to the Ball Game plays, and Gary Nolan is now fatigued. We're going to bring in a new pitcher for the Reds. This is a pretty easy process. I've only got 2 relief pitchers. If I go to look at all pitchers, I've got a better selection. But I am going to go with the relief pitchers that it is offering. I will go with Clay Carroll, 48 in the red, and a 54 earned run average. I think I'll go with Clay Carroll as he comes in. Carroll with on the season was 6-4 with a 2.25 ERA with 37 saves. He is a reliever. And Blass is at the plate. And I think I'm going to pinch hit for Blass. That's going to be all for him as well. Bring in Vic Davalillo. I don't know how to pronounce that. He's not done well in the season, but he is a lefty against a righty, and he's got, you can see he's only a 111 in this replay, but he was a 318 hitter during the regular season with over 300 at-bats. So you'd think he might can get something done here. Is on the mound again is Clay Carroll. Here's a pitch from Carroll. It's an in play 19, and that will be a single by Vic Davalello. Somebody'd have to help me on that one. And he runs at an A, so he's going to be taken off. I don't know. Bench, his arm is a 1. It's a normal result. We got a 1 running against a 1. Let's see what happens. He's taken off, trying to get something done, and he's safe. He gets in under the throw by Bench, who puts one on a rope, but Vic runs well, and he's safe at second. Runner in scoring position for Rennie Stennett, who's doubled his first time up, but has flew out his last 2 times at bat. Let's see if he can get something done here, and it's going to be a defensive check, and I believe this is our first defensive check of the game. As we flip the card, you can see it's going to be an error check on the shortstop, who has a rating of 3. Error rating of 3 is middle of the road. Anything 1 to 56, and it's going to be an error. Anything higher than that, it's going to be an out. And it is higher than that, as he's able to make the play. As Davey Concepcion fields it, fires it over to first for the first out, and look Vic back, so he didn't make it to third, and that's going to bring Al Oliver up, who's flew out and grounded out. Here is the pitch to Oliver from Carroll. It's going to be an in-play roll, low 2, and that's a double by Al Oliver as he rips one in the gap, and Vic will score with that good speed. He scored standing up, and it's now a 4-4 ball game as the Pirates have come storming back here in the bottom of the 7th, and that brings up Roberto Clemente with a runner on second in scoring position. Here's the pitch from Carroll. It's going to be a patient 57, and that's just a ground ball to third. Runner advancement, we're rolling on that. The runner will have to hold as Merkel just looks Oliver back to second. That's going to bring Stargell to the plate, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Can Willie get something going here in the bottom of the 7th? He gets a patient roll. He cannot as he grounds it sharply to first. Tony Perez fields it. Unassisted, steps on the bag, and we're going to the 8th, tied up 4-4. And one of the things I think they need to correct, let's cancel that. Let's go back to the field. Clay Carroll is still on the mound. Here we go, 4-4. Ramon Hernandez comes to the plate with a 1.29 ERA in 7 innings pitched. He struck out 3 and walked 3. He is one of the save leaders on the team. Him and I think it's Geis are the big relief pitchers for Pittsburgh. Tony Perez comes to the plate for the Reds. Perez, 0 for 2 on the day. It's going to be an in-play 0-5, and he doubles. He leads off doubles, and Hernandez offered up a breaking ball that hung over the plate a little too long, and Perez ripped it into left center field, and that'll bring up Dennis Menke, who struck out twice. Patient roll, and he walked him. So Ramon has come in and got 2 runners on quickly here. As Cesar Geronimo, who's 2 for 3 on the day, comes to the plate. It's going to be an in-play 30. That's a wild pitch. So runners move to second and third as Geronimo is struggling. Hernandez is struggling. Geronimo's just wanting to get a pitch to hit. And he singles. That'll score the run. And it's now a 5-4 ball game. Runners on the corner. No outs. Bring the infield in. Try to keep any more runs coming in. It's going to be a tough 27, and he struck him out. He struck Concepcion out to get his first out, a much needed out. Now they'll go to double play depth. I have a net flying around. Clay Carroll coming to the plate. I think in this situation, Carroll is going to take a seat. He did a good job of pitching, but I don't think we're going to want him hitting. Bernie Carbo to the plate. Here is the pitch. It's an in play, 61. That's a ground ball too short. Can they double it up? And they do. They get the double play. Stennett on a 6-4-3 double play. And we go to the bottom of the 8th, and it's 5-4. I need a pitcher for Cincinnati. I don't think I'm going to bring in Gibbon, who's at 48. Yeah, I'm going to bring in Gibbon. He's at 48, but he's got a real interesting card. Low rolls, and it's a problem. High rolls, and he's a problem. It's going to be how the dice roll. If he gets low rolls, you can see from 2 to 7, it favors the hitter. From 8 to 12, it favors Gibbon. So let's see how this rolls out. And it's an in-play roll, but it's a single at in-play 37, that low roll, and Hebner's on safely. Manny Sanguin now comes to the plate. Gibbon with the roll again. This time it's a wheelhouse roll against left-handed pitching. Sanguin's better against right-handers. It's a 1 to 55 chance to get a hit. And that roll of 63, he just struck him out as he went down swinging. Gibbon got the job done. Now Bob Robertson back to the plate, who's 0 for 3 on the day. Robertson digs in. That roll is a tough roll. That tough roll of 50 struck him out as he got the roll he needed to get. As Hebner's still on first. Gene Alley to the plate. Gibbon steps in. It's going to be an in-play roll of 82, and he struck him out. And he pitched him out of the inning. And we go to the 9th. The Reds up 5-4. What a game here in Pittsburgh as Pete Rose steps to the plate. Here's a pitch from Hernandez, who's still in the game. Fly out to left field. Stargell steps underneath it for out number 1. That brings up Joe Morgan, 3 for 4 on the day. Morgan's had a hot bat today, and he gets a wheelhouse, but against left-handed pitching, he just has a 1-5 chance for a home run. And, man, he missed it by 1 to get a hit. That roll of 56 got him into the ground ball to third as he tried to squeak it by Hebner, but Hebner makes a good play at third for out number 2, and that brings up Bobby Tolan, 1 for 4 on the day. Here's the pitch to Tolan. It'll be a tough 57, and it's just another ground ball to third as Hebner has a good top of the 9th to have them go 3 up and 3 down. And we go to the bottom of the 9th with Pittsburgh trailing 5-4, and Ramon Hernandez coming to the plate. He will be having a seat. And we're going to bring in somebody. Should it be Kleins or Cash? Let's go with Kleins. Gene Kleins comes in, the 500 batting average for this replay, but over a 334 for the regular season. Klein steps in. Gibbon with the delivery. It's going to be an in-play, 86, and he struck him out. I don't know why those are strikeouts, but there's probably some rule there. Let's bring back the top of the lineup, Randy Stennett, 1 for 4 on the day. Here's the pitch to Stennett. It's going to be his wheelhouse. Eyes are getting blurry here. Against left-handed pitching, it's a 1-18 chance. And this is a home run. What is the roll? It is a 10, and we're tied up as Rennie Stennett takes it yard to tie this game up in the bottom of the ninth. We may be going extra innings. It is now tied up 5-5. One out here in the bottom of the ninth, and Al Oliver coming to the plate as Gibbon just offered up a gopher ball, and he went for it. Here is the pitch. This time it's going to be a tough roll. That tough 37, though, is a single by Oliver as Gibbon is not getting it done as Roberto Clemente comes to the plate. Clemente 2 for 4 on the day. Here's the pitch to Clemente. It's going to be an in play, 36, and it is another single. Base running. Runners advance one base. So we got runners on first and second with one out, and Willie Stargell, who's 0 for on the day. Can he get something done here now with runners on first and second, tied up 5-5 in the bottom of the ninth? Stargell with the pitch. It's going to be a ballpark roll. Left-handed batter, 1-56, and it is a wheelhouse. Oh, boy. All right. If you look at Stargell's card against left or right-handed pitching, it's a 1-76, it's a home run. 1-73, it's a home run. And what will the roll be? And he walked it off. Home run by Willie Stargell as that roll of 70 is within the 1-76. And this game is over. 3-run shot by Willie Stargell. And that is the game. And Willie Stargell, even though he's 1 for 5, that one hit got him the most valuable player. It was the shot that won the game, 8-5. Winning pitcher, Ramon Hernandez. Losing pitcher, Joe Gibbon. That will end our game. And as we can see now, that moves the Pirates up even with Montreal as they're 6-3, and Montreal is yet to play. But I'm going to go ahead and sim the games for the rest of the day and see where we stand. What I'm doing is I'm simming the games and I'm importing today's games. So every game, I'm playing all of Pittsburgh's games and all the other games. 1 second. My dogs have something to bark at. So I import today's games. These are the historical games from that season. So it's the exact game. So it's importing all the stats except for the games I'm playing. So we'll import today's games. Then we'll recheck the standings and see it moved on to the next day's game. I'll hit the back button there. So now we can go to the standings. And the Pirates are now ahead of the Mets, who are now 5-3. You'll have to excuse my dogs. I think my neighbor brought his dog out. So Willie Stargell, as you'll see, home run leaders, he's now tied with Lee May, and Roberto Clemente has dropped into second now with still a paltry 556 average. Stargell's slugging percentage, my CBS calling me, I do not need to speak to them. But you'll see Stargell slugging percentage 784. Willie's having a great season. Batting average leader still Roberto Clemente at 543. So Pittsburgh's playing well early here in the season. I'm thankful for that. That's the replay that I'm doing. So it's easier for me, if they're playing well, for me to continue to play this season. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the game, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we'll be continuing this as the season goes along, as we do this replay in Roberto Clemente's final season in the majors, as it was his 3,000th hit. Matter of fact, if I remember correctly, the last hit for him in the season was his 3,000th hit, then his tragic death later in the year. But glad to be replaying that game, and I hope you enjoy it, and have a great day. Soli Deo Gloria.